Hello and welcome to the LoE podcast. We have a bit of an overview, really, of the season so far, and also a little bit of an interesting segment coming up after the standings, based around some stats and a slight change on the I suppose the standings and how it would have worked, perhaps over time gone by. I'm joined by Gary. How you doing?
Hello, good, happy to be here. Another podcast.
And yeah, so we're going to just kick off with, I suppose, just a bit of a review of Japan, a bit of a kind of a status update on everything. Because it's certainly looking interesting in quite a few different divisions. Perhaps D3 is a little bit more cut and dry, but the rest of them has definitely got stories to play out.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's best to start off with D1, and I think Alftrix back-to-back wins. He's definitely given himself a great chance. He's given him a couple of races ago. We were saying Lewis has this championship's over, even though Lewis hasn't led at all this season, but he's still everyone's favourite to win. But after those two wins, Alftrix has got a 27-point gap with 3 races to go, which is, considering D1 when it's usually Alphatrix or Lewis first and second, you'd have to say in normal races Alphatrix could bring this home, or should bring this home, in all respect to him. I don't know what you think, but yeah, I think this is Alphatrix's title to lose now.
Yeah, I mean, it's the issue that Lewis has now is that he can pick up, like, organically just by himself without any kind of outside interference. He can only make up 24 points.
Yeah, exactly.
That's including the fastest laps. So, and he can't influence what Alpha does. Having, I don't know, maybe having Montana back, actually, because Montana raced after a couple of weeks break, moving to reserve. Some of the other NXX guys as well. Frotcher, potentially. I know Lakitu can be quite quick in other leagues. I don't know tons about about the pace here, but even then, you're asking for 3 perfect performances, and then you need. I mean, that's hard enough, and then you need something else.
Not to be on the podium and win those races.
Yeah.
Which I think Altrix's only been off the podium. Let's have a look. 2-3 times this season.
Yeah.
Which is mad. So, and he needs it to happen when he won the last race. So I don't think it's over. I think it will go down to the last race. But the momentum at the moment is definitely back with Alftrix after Lewis went on a run of 4 race wins in a row. That break week definitely helped Alftrix regather himself and take the win, which I'm quite happy to see, because I don't think many people have given Alftrix the credit or have respected him enough since Lewis has joined, because Altrix is rapid, but we all know Lewis is on another level, we know that, but Altrix is no slouch and he deserves to be leading this championship, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I think there's a little bit of controversy from yesterday. Lewis is I think that's clutching at straws a bit.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that bad, it's not obvious. I mean, as we've seen a few other people in other divisions cut it quite severely, and they'll probably get punished for it. But I don't think what Alftrix or what Lewis did himself deserve a penalty. But I'm not a steward, thankfully, so I'm not involved with any of that. So I'll leave that up to them.
I think the intention of that ruling was to stop people going completely over the green.
Yes, I think that's where the confusion was, because my perception was that you could have your left tyres on the green bit, but you couldn't have all 4 tyres on the green bit, because you can get a warning in that position, in that corner, if you cut it too much. But if you go 4 wheels off, it doesn't give you. The game's just ridiculous, but it doesn't give you a warning if you go 4 wheels off. But sometimes you go 2 wheels off, it gives you a warning. So I think there was a bit of confusion there, but I think overall everyone respected the rule that was given, which is good to see.
Yeah, exactly, and I suppose it's about kind of flagrant misuse, because if you look at turn 1 in Germany, it's the exact same thing. Like, but that's the line, and that's the line everyone takes, and everyone kind of just accepts it. So There's a difference between that and perhaps like completely missing it, like where you're going completely over and not even looking at the apex.
Yeah, exactly.
Which I did once, funny enough, purposely because I knew it would give me a warning, and I wanted to stay in someone's DRS. But like, and that's the point. I think it's more avoiding people gaming the game. Effectively.
Yeah, break it, like using the game's mechanics to their advantage, because the game, for some reason, doesn't give you a warning for that. But if you cut the first part of the chicane, it gives you a 5-second pen, which I found out about, which is great. But yeah, I think that wrap. Who do you think can win? Because it's only one of these two can win the championship. Who are you backing?
You've got to say Alpha Tricks, but I feel like Lewis can be. Maybe this is where, like you say, he hasn't had enough respect. Maybe this is what Maybe this comment kind of. I'm one of those people that should perhaps give it to him a bit more, but I can't see Lewis losing to anyone else in the league.
No, can I?
Other than Alpha Tricks. But I could see Alpha Tricks potentially not necessarily beating all comers every single time.
I mean, I have to agree with that. But like, Alpha Tricks has got himself out of sticky situations before. Like Singapore, he started at the back. I think he was nearly last, and he came back to second. Like, he's quick, but I can see what you're saying. Like, there has been races when he hasn't bet everyone, and he has come out of the podium a few times. But like I said, I don't see anyone beating Lewis. The only person I see beating Lewis is Alpha. But I can see, like you said, I can see other people beating Alpha. But it's interesting. I say Alpha should win. I'm saying Alpha a lot. It feels like I'm saying that a lot. But yeah, I think he should win. It'll be close. It's definitely going to go down to Brazil, and then in Brazil anything can happen. I mean, that's what Lewis probably should aim for. If he can get the gap down to 6 points going into Brazil, he's winning a show. Anything can happen then.
Yeah, I agree. I think the other battle with everyone that is in the division seems to be, that isn't Alpha Tricks and Lewis, tends to be more concerned with the battle for fourth.
Yes, the real D1 championship, as they call it.
D1.5. Verstappen, Campbell, Cantera, Alonso. Now Luigi's probably not in it, even though there's just not enough available points.
I think it's between Verstappen. But the drawers between Verstappen and Alonso, I think, are batting out for fourth there, which would be interesting to watch.
I don't know who I back out of them, because that's weird. Because some weeks, like, even if you just take the two QBR lads, some weeks Verstappen's miles quicker than Campbell, and then some weeks Campbell's quicker than him, and I don't really know with them two. And then Cantera and Alonso. I mean, I'll be honest, Cantera's done really well this season.
He
I think he's
got a race win. Yeah, he got a race win as well. I think he's gone under the radar a little bit. He did get a race win. Yeah, he did. Yeah, he's done better than June, which I don't think June would be too happy about.
Yeah, June's in the mud a bit, isn't he?
I've seen June asking to be put in D2 for next season.
He's trying.
He's trying his best.
But yeah, no, I don't know. I don't know who I back out of that lot. I probably would say Verstappen.
Yeah, at the moment I say Verstappen, just because of the gap he has with, I think it's 8 points with like 3 races to go. I know it's not a lot, but considering how close all those guys are on pace, and the top 3 are usually, the podium positions are usually taken by the other drivers. They're battling out for fourth and the best. So I think Verstappen will take home P4, or the real D1 championship, as he's going to call it.
The other battle that isn't talked about is the battle for last. And when I say last, I mean I don't include
the wooden spoon.
Anyone down from Vaporizer down, because none of them were really here at the beginning of the season. It's only really been 15 drivers that have been pretty consistent since day one.
Yeah.
And it's definitely between Toxic, Yari, June.
Oh God.
Unbelievably. Shapalele, who and and Larkin. That's Battle of the Wooden Spoon. That's D 1.99, I think.
I say Jerry will come last just because he must be put in D2 next season. The sandbags will be out.
Yeah, I agree. I think, but if I had to guess, who would probably top Larkin, because Larkin's holding the best position at the moment, I would imagine Doom or Chapelet
Definitely
will jump up.
Yeah, so I think that rounds up D1. So unless you want anything else to add, no?
No, not really. I suppose the only small thing I'd add is watching Heldorn in the last couple of weeks.
Yes.
It's been quite cool. He looks like a really good addition to the division.
I think he got his brother involved in F2 as well. Or,
yeah.
I think it's F2 or GT Sports. Yeah. Yeah, it's good to see the new drivers coming in and getting part of the community. Always nice to see.
And one real small thing. The constructors battle is down. I don't think either of them care about it really.
Harry cares about it. I think Harry's the only one out of the four. I think Harry's the only one that cares.
But that's now down to 10 points between Ferrari and Mercedes. So that's interesting in itself. Obviously, we've got poor old.
Alvatrix can carry Larkin to a constructor championship. I think that'd be a bigger achievement than beating Lewis, if I'm honest.
Yeah, it always goes under the radar though. I think it's the only division that doesn't really, to be frank, give a crap about constructors.
Yeah.
Oh dear, but that would be fun to watch as well. I don't know. I don't like seeing people that score less than like 33% of the points get a constructor's title. I think it should be illegal.
Yeah, well, I remember, just going off a tangent there, I remember my first season here in PRL, Mitch won the champion. I think Mitch won the constructors with Fab, and Fab scored 1 point the whole season, and they went on to win the constructors. I think they did. I'm sure Neo will tell me if I'm wrong, but I think they did.
At least he got a point.
Yeah, exactly. But anyway, moving on to the best division in all of LoE, no bias whatsoever, is Division 2. And who better to talk about than us two? The most known Division 2 drivers in all the land. I'll let you start. Thoughts on the championship from an outsider?
Yeah, it's interesting because you extended your lead yesterday.
Somehow, I don't know how.
And the only thing I think about it, I suppose, in some senses, what might make it a little bit more interesting than perhaps people might think is because you've got two people that are basically on the exact same gap behind you. No matter what happens now, if you have a bad race in Mexico or USA, you will lose points.
Yeah, fact.
I think that's the only difference, really, where. Well, not even a bad race. If you come third, you'll probably likely lose points now. Because I'm guessing one of them will.
Yeah, Cookie definitely would be up there anyway. Dan probably with pens and stuff.
Especially Mexico.
Yeah. But,
and USA, to be fair.
Yeah, exactly.
But it doesn't. It's interesting because you've picked up 13 points in the last two races, and you have extended. You've extended your gap.
Yeah, it's weird. It is weird. In my defence, though, those two races have been sort of out of my hands with the weather and the safety cars.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But still, I find it like I don't understand how. Well, I know how I pulled the gap, obviously, but it's just weird having a bad race and both of them. Well, not both of them, but Cookie is scoring a lot more than me, but still being further behind than Dan was the race before. But 32 points with 3 races to go. I think it's far from finished. I think it will go to Brazil, unfortunately. And not really much else to say upon it, but just looking forward to it.
I think you'll win it. Do you know what? This is quite bold. I think you probably need about, in most scenarios, I don't think you need more than 15 points in the last 3 races. I
We'll
would
come
put,
back
do you know
to
what?
this, and
We'll
see.
come back to this.
15 points.
I don't think they'll get more than 48 points, either of them, between now and the end of the season.
That is bold. That is
Because
bold.
Killers actually over the last, if we take the last 4 races.
I mean, I'm loving this. How everyone's just starting to pick up their pace.
Yeah.
It's great. It's great for me.
Yeah, you've got Killer, you've got Matty, you've got McCrew. J. Cole's had a bit of a lull himself.
Dan's been quick lately himself, which, to be fair, I don't want that, but like, still, like he has been quick the last couple of races.
You've got Mala, who's actually.
I could say Nico can help.
Nico. I don't know what Oshin does on a Saturday, but he's clearly having too many beers on a Friday or something. We've both seen his pace outside of this league, and you're like,
yeah, it's like, what are you doing?
Unbelievable. But yeah, no, I don't know. I think that might be a factor. I genuinely wouldn't be surprised. I mean, don't get me wrong, Cookie's very quick. If he put his mind to it, he could get 75 points. So he genuinely could. 78 points or whatever. But yeah, I don't know. In that sense, I don't know. He's got to scrap for every point as well, and that's dangerous because you don't want to be scrapping for positions the whole time.
But this might sit on more though. He's in a he's in a win. If he does it, he wins everything. If he doesn't, he doesn't really lose anything because he's not in the position to lose anything.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. So he can just go for every race now. Whereas obviously I'm gonna be a slightly more defensive in my battling and whatnot. Like I have more to lose than what he would have, if that makes sense. But yeah.
And maybe Japan teaches you not teaches you a lesson, but gives you a bit of an interesting idea that you can afford to have than the others two can't. So let's say it is mixed conditions again, and it is, like rain towards the end of the race.
Yeah.
You might genuinely qualify on mediums if you've got a 20-point gap going into the last race.
Yeah.
You might genuinely do that. You might go, right, okay, let me just get anywhere on the grid that isn't that I can use those tyres, and I know I can go to X point in the race, and I don't have to worry because I know that I can be at least half of the grid, let's say, on pace, and I don't need to care about getting any big points. The other two can't do that, so
yeah, that makes sense. To be fair, I do see that. When you said after the race that I could have started on mediums, I thought about it, and I was like, maybe I should have. But then I was like, do I want to be in the midfield? Do I want to be part of that carnage? And then I was like, nah, I think I made the right decision. It's just that Cookie got lucky. I don't think Cookie would have got top 4. He probably would have came 5th if the safety car hadn't came out when it did. So in that sense, he got quite lucky. But not taking anything away from him, he was quick that race. But yeah, I think starting on the softs with that rain, same as Russia, just puts you on the back foot. You can't really do anything about it. Just is what it is, unfortunately. But
do you think anyone could have stretched those softs to the rain?
Rain came lap 18? Nah, no way. No way.
Even the two laps with a safety car though.
True, but I was on. I think if you go to lap 7, you're on like 32%.
Oh, okay.
So 14 laps. And your pace would dramatically fall off. They make the pit. They would make the pit stop, and you probably get a puncture. But yeah.
I wish someone tried it, just for the.
I was gonna try it in Russia, but I thought no. But nah, I don't think it would have worked. Same way your soft strategy didn't work.
It did. It did. The worst. It did. Anyway, that did work. But the problem is, I'm just not very quick.
See, I was thinking soft, and then I was thinking, oh, what if the rain comes too late and my tyres are dead. Not that they would have like got a punch or anything, but like if the medium runners behind me were able to catch back up because my tyres died so much, so that's why I went for mediums.
If someone would have done it that was a bit... If McCrew would have done it, I would have been very intrigued to see what would have happened. Because he could have broke away from the pack. I just couldn't, that's the difference.
Yeah.
And then I went one lap too bloody late.
Yeah.
I still can't believe how quick.
How quick. I was shocked. Like, I wasn't even really trying to pit. I just ended up following Mala into the pits, and I was like, alright, I guess I'm pitting then. And then, yeah, lucky enough, it didn't make a difference for me, because I think I would have gained time, but because I had a 5-second pen, I didn't really gain or lose anything, so. But yeah, it was crazy. Because it started raining when I was in, like, I think it started raining when I was at, like, the second Egna, and the next thing I knew, I'm pitting. It was like, that's crazy. I've never seen the rain go down so quick in a race.
I think it started raining. It started raining lap 18, didn't it?
And I pitted lap 18 as well.
And then lap 19, out of where was I? I was coming around Dunlop, and then it said DRS disabled. Oh, that's good timing.
That's terrible.
But
yeah, it's crazy how quickly it came down. But yeah, to go on to the constructors, well, me and Nico we can actually wrap it up in Mexico. I think we need 15 points. We need to score 15 more points than the Mercedes boys, I believe.
So what's there? What is there available?
46, 82.
43, 44, 44 times 3, 132. 132 available, but if the gap is... That was just useless maths, because it's 88. Yeah, you have to score 18.
Yeah, 18, yeah. Which is doable. Be nice.
18.
Be nice to win. Actually win. So I've never won anything in league racing before, which is crazy to think. So I'll happily take my constructor championship trophy with Nico.
I'll tell you who is on the rise in that is, and I'm not just saying it because I'm in that team. We were dead last.
I know yous were bad. Yous were bad. Fuck the Ferraris.
We picked up. I think I told Killer this. What was it? Yeah. In our 5th race, we picked up more points in that race than we did in the first 4.
Mad.
So,
You could definitely catch up to 5th. 5th is definitely should be your aim.
Yeah,
11 points behind Toro Rosso. Definitely should be able for them. Also, Killer's only scored 6 races this season, which is he has over 100 points and he's only scored in 6 of those races. We've done what? How many races have we done? We've done
15.
He scored points in less than half the races we've done. And he hasn't finished lower than 4th in any of those races, and he's taken 2 wins. That's just I seen that this morning and I was like, how? He's 7th in the championship and he's only finished 6 races in the points.
Does make you wonder, doesn't it?
I find that crazy.
I suppose it's another one for next. It's a medium-term question, but do people like him go up? You know, like let's say you and Cookie go up. If we assume that, do you then promote Killer? Because I think you would have to.
You might, but I don't think Killer would be the quickest driver in D2 if you didn't.
No, and
that's the thing. He wouldn't be the quickest driver, but he would fit in D1.
Yeah.
But like as someone like Mahi, who's quicker than Killer, I don't think he'd be able for D1. It's really weird. It's really weird.
No,
it's the worst. It's the thing I hate the most being an org is figuring out divisions. There's nothing I hate more.
Well, it's clumps of people, isn't it? It's like you have to kind of clump people together.
You have people that are going to race each other.
But then I don't know who Killer races. I don't think I still haven't worked out who he's on the same pace as. I'm his teammate.
I mean, this could be all pointless because we could have 5 or 6 D1 drivers walk up next season and we're all still in D2 next season.
Well, that's it, and that's always the argument. When I see it in the Discord and people go, this person, I was like, because I raised the question, didn't I? Obviously in the week, to say, who do you think should go up, just to create a little bit of friendly conversation. It was dead on Tuesday, no one said anything about the day. And yeah, you know, and I did say, look, take this with a pinch of salt. No one's going up or down if we have, because I know other leagues have like promotion and relegation.
Yeah.
And we've talked about it before.
But could you imagine Dan being in D1 this season? I think that'd be very unfair on him. I think he's the first to admit he's not the quickest. He's just good at what he drives smart. He's not a D1 driver. J. Cole's not a D1 driver. No offense to these guys, these are quick guys, but they're not at that level. That's why I've always been against the promotion relegation system. I just don't think it worked really.
Because it's too unknown. Because then if you promote them, and then you get new sign-ups come in.
Exactly.
Let's say I'll tell you a good example. Let's pretend Neo didn't race at all this season.
Yeah.
And he comes in and he's slightly quicker than those guys, but there's now spaces in D2 because you've had to move up 4 people, let's say, and then you end up in a world where season 4 has Neo in D2 and Dan in D1.
Yeah, it's just no. But yeah, like I said, we'll have to wait and see what the sign-ups say for new things, for new season. And we actually have talked about the new season in the other podcast, which is I don't know where it is. So this podcast will be coming out before the other podcast which we recorded. So whenever that podcast comes out, do listen, because there's about 3 or 4 big announcements in that podcast. So when that does come out, do listen to it. But yeah, don't know when it's coming out. But yeah, I think that wraps D2. I think. Oh wait, I think we should do something for if we go back to D1 for a sec. Driver of the season so far. Do that for each division. I think that'd be a good idea.
Driver of the season.
Yeah, we'll go back to D1. Who do you think for D1 driver of the season?
Let's do 3.
Yeah, if you do driver of the season and surprise of the season, and disappointment of the season, we could do that.
Okay.
We're doing nothing to fly, so let's just fucking go with it.
Alright, that's actually good format. Driver of the season. It's one of 2 people, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm going to say Alpha Tricks because I think he's going to win the league. So, surprise of the season would be Cantera.
Yeah.
And disappointment of the season would be his mate.
Yeah, true. My driver of the season so far would be Lewis. Just how quick how many races he's won since he joined. Surprise of the season, I'll say Verstappen. Disappointment of the season, I have to agree with you. I have to say Joom. Sorry, Joom. Don't hate us. Yeah, want to do D2 then?
Driver of the season would be you. Fine, it'd be you.
Thank you. Ugh. Can I vote for myself?
Yeah.
I'm joking.
To be honest with you, no. To be honest with you, not voting for yourself would actually look more of a dick move than actually doing it.
Yeah. I agree.
Surprise of the season. Do you know what? I'm going to say surprise of the season, Cookie, because he couldn't. I've said this phrase a few times, but he literally couldn't find the apex of a corner in a circular. Well, he could in a circular room. He just would DNF every single race.
I remember.
I know he's not been the most consistent.
I think it was this season probably has helped him with confidence. And joining QVR, of course, that can only help as well. So if he does go to D1 next season, I hope to see this Cookie, the same Cookie as we've seen this season, because it'd be a shame if he didn't.
Yeah, no, I agree. Disappointment this season. I don't know. It's a bit of an odd one. If you'd have asked me 3 races ago, I'd have probably said I'm not going to include Morgan because he's been in.
Yeah, I would say Morgan, but Morgan's been on the wheel since Morgan was on the wheel, so that's fair enough. Like,
yeah, so I don't think that's fair.
Yeah.
I'm going to say J Cole,
Ooh.
and I'm like, maybe this is a bit weighted towards the end of the season, but he scored 10 points in the last 5 races, so. And I don't think he's ever happy being 5th. I think if he manages to get 4th,
he'd be happy.
He'd be happy. But at the moment, I don't think I can actually see him coming 6th, to be honest, because I think Killer might go with him.
That'd be mad. That would be very disappointing.
What about you?
Well, driver's season, of course, is myself. Surprise this season, I'm gonna say Nico. Because I'm not saying that just because of my teammate, but he came from D3 and
I always forget that.
He's done really well. I think he's been very unlucky not to have a win this season, and I hope it does come from him before the end of the season. And disappointment this season, see, I would have said Killer, but Killer's now winning races and getting podiums, so I can't say Killer.
If we combine J. Cole's and Killer's worst parts of the season
together and make one driver, that would be it. Disappointment season. Oh, this is a tough one. There's a few. I think I'm gonna say Dylan. I'm not hating on Dylan because I think Dylan's really quick, but Dylan has shown really good speed. But you look at his points since Germany when he won his race, he's scored 10 points. That was 6 races ago. Yeah, so he's got the pace to be top 5, and he just hasn't shown it. So I say he'd be disappointment season, and I say he comes back stronger next season. Hopefully, anyway.
Anyone whose name is one above mine, who's won a race, is having serious consistency issues.
Yeah, he does. He definitely does. But yeah, I think we move on now to the most boring division in all of LoE. Sorry, Ben, but it's Division 3. I mean, congrats on the win the championship, Ben. Right, on to D4, let's go.
The funny thing is, if you watch D3, it's far from boring.
No, it's quite entertaining.
It does make me wonder whether we should consider opening up a Wreckfest league and just letting them go and race there sometimes.
I mean, you've had this idea many times, having Wreckfest or letting people just kill each other. I mean, we already have it in D3, so we don't really need to get involved.
The weird thing is well, I don't know where Tom was last night. God knows, but I mean, he's won. I mean, in fact, do you know what will be the worst thing in the world for him? Will be if Tom doesn't race next week. Because if he doesn't race next week, he's won the title.
He's won the championship. Yeah.
And that'll be a proper letdown.
Anticlimactic.
I
mean, he can't control it. Like, he's done everything he can, really. He's been great.
I'll never forget watching him drive around China in no errors.
I remember. He was toying with everyone.
He will definitely not be. I mean, I think we were saying about. Well, it depends on what.
Yeah, there's certain people where they're gonna be, unless something crazy happens. You know where they're gonna be, and he's one of them.
Yeah, him, and I'll tell you who the other one is as well. Is for me anyway, Callum. He's smurfed enough now. He can. Well, it depends. He goes down, I suppose.
Yeah, Callum. Yeah, but I don't think. I seen when you put that question to the divisions, he wasn't quite keen on it. But I mean, we have to say it's all up in the air at the moment. But yeah, Ben's done really, really well. I have to say, I'm surprised. Am I surprised? I did think Tom was going to win at one stage, but Ben's just been super consistent.
He doesn't tend to. I mean, his run of races he's had.
Yeah.
He's not come third once this season.
No, he's mad. Like, looking at someone like Bree, I don't know how Bree feels about his season. Because he has been really unlucky in some races. But would he be happy coming third? Or even second to Ben? I mean, if I was Bree, I'd be happy. But Bree's
No, I
not the
would.
Bree's not the type of guy to be happy with second. So
No.
he's not usually happy with himself, to be honest. So
Permanently seems
yeah,
like
God.
he's putting himself down. But I don't think that's a terrible result, losing. If you're only going to lose to Tom and to Ben, I don't think that's that bad, to
No.
be honest. And equally, on the other foot, maybe Ben. I don't know. I don't actually think so. To be fair, I don't think either of them. I think Ben might have done actually quite well in D2, but Tom certainly wouldn't have. I don't think.
No, I don't think so. I think Ben could be. I would also think Ben would probably be the only one that would fit in D2, going off the current grid at the moment.
Yeah, because maybe some of the new guys don't even know this as well. But when I look at the D3 standings, I see basically the bottom half of D2 last season.
Yeah, last season. Yeah,
That's what it is.
yeah. It's basically what it is. That is true. Other standouts. Packer's been quite well this season.
He's another one.
Yeah.
He's Cookie, isn't he? He's
Yeah,
like the D3 Cookie.
yeah, he is a D3 cookie. The IRL guys seem to be. Well, that's actually
All or
quite.
nothing.
Yeah, it's like you either win or you crash out. That's their mentality, really. But yeah, he's been another one that's done quite well.
Mm.
Yeah, so I think the constructor, sorry, I think that's nearly wrapped up as well for Williams. I think they have a 68-point gap. It probably might not get done in Mexico, but probably will be in USA. And yeah, who would your driver of the season be so far?
It is gonna be Ben, and there's no point pretending like it's gonna be otherwise. Surprise of the season. My surprise of the season would probably be. Ooh. I'm gonna say McDutchface
Yeah,
because he was in a real bad place last season, and
in
like,
Division 2, yeah.
and to see him get a podium, as he's done. Has he done it? I believe he's done it. Yes, he has. Yes, France. Him and I almost feel like, yeah, no, I definitely think he's done really well. As has Starger and DJ Williamson, to be fair.
Yeah. They were all in D2, weren't they, last season?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is definitely a better division for them.
Yeah, and I think they've all done really well, but DJ Williamson's obviously ahead of. Oh no, sorry, McDutchface is ahead. So no, I'd say McDutchface. And the biggest disappointment would be. Sorry, this is probably the easiest one. It's going to be Ivor, isn't it? Really?
That's my answer as well.
I mean, Ivor's such a like. Obviously, he does the commentary. He's a good guy.
Yeah.
I think he's had the absolute fill of this game.
It's like,
I think he just wants to. When he uninstalls it, I think he will have such gratification.
the champagne will be out and it will be poured.
But and the other.
Yeah, go on, sorry.
The other disappointment though that I would mention would probably be MCR.
Who?
MCR.
Who?
Yeah, exactly. What's he doing?
Where is he?
But where is that man? But yeah, no, Ivor would sadly be it. But I mean, he's already making. Dan said this. He's already. He talks more in D4 chat than he does in D3. So
he's getting ready to come on.
He's made his seat, I think. And I'm sure that's probably a semi-likely one, unless he turns on assists. Because when he has assists on, he's no mug. He comes second to Abdry.
Like, he is the only man to win D1, D2, and D3 a race in all three divisions.
MCR,
yeah.
Imagine if he comes back into D4
and he wins. Oh, that'd be something. Everyone will be trying to beat that. But,
Jacob.
Yeah, Jacob.
Who could do it? Hang on, I'm trying to think who actually legit could do it.
Well, who's been in D1? I don't think anyone in D3's been in D1.
No. Well, when did Dave? No. Hang on. When did Dave join? Dave
Oh,
Sharp.
Dave was in PRL, so technically he was in D1 when we had one division.
He's been in every division.
Yeah.
I know that. I highly doubt he won in D1. He's definitely won in D2. And he's definitely won in D3.
Yeah.
But hang on. He's not one in D. He's not one in D4. He's one in D2 and D3. I know that to be a fact.
Oh, come on, Dave. Dave's a legend, actually. It's actually crazy. Dave's actually been here longer than me.
Yeah.
Now that I think of it, gee, he's been here a long time.
I don't think anyone else in D3 that's been in D1. I don't think so.
I don't think there is. Ibo's been in every div.
Yeah.
I think that's it though.
Hmm.
Yeah, well, anyway, my driver of the season, I can't look past Ben. Surprise this season, I'm going to say Ton. I didn't really think Ton would actually do this as well as he has. And then, disappointment season, I have to agree with you and say Ivor. It's not been another good season for him, unfortunately for him. Hopefully he comes back in the new game a lot better. But anyway, then moving on to Division 4. This division it's been getting hot lately. It's been getting sweaty. It's been crazy. We got let me just find the standings 1 second. Oh, I know Ben's winning. Yeah, sorry, not Ben. Ryan's winning.
Yeah.
He's winning by 5 points. Ryan's been on a charge last 4 races. We'll say 5 since Belgium.
Yeah.
He's been on the podium every race, and he's into that Jasper lead. I mean, I think
I'm gutted for Jasper from Russia. I think this should be.
He got disqualified.
Yeah, he got span and then waited somewhere, and then the game DSQ'd him. I think. I'm pretty sure that's what happened anyway.
That's annoying.
He's doing the right thing, I know that. I remember everyone saying how harsh it was. But even I just wish he would have. Let's say he got 6 points from that. I just think the dynamic of the whole thing would be so different.
Yeah. I mean, thing is though with Ryan's gotten really quick. Like he's doing D2 times with some tracks, which is. I mean, fair play to him. He's put in the work, he's put in the hours, the practice, and he's got to that pace. I do feel a little bit sorry for Jasper because he's been leading for so long. I think nearly the whole season, and now it looks like he's going to lose it right at the end, which that must be horrible to take.
From nowhere as well, really. Almost,
yeah. Like Ryan was a bit of a bottle job at the start. Like he's one of those. He's quick, but he's not going to win. Like, he'll annoy you a couple of races, but he's not going to be in a championship fight with you. And then something switched for him, and he's a man possessed lately. And I can only see him winning this now with the momentum that he has. Unfortunately for Jasper.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be interesting though when now he's got that lead. It's a different mentality, isn't it? It's different. Yeah. Like
when you're attacking and chasing for so long, and then you have to go into defensive mode, like it definitely changes the way you think and the way you drive, without a doubt.
Yeah, and I don't know. Looking at I mean, Kieran will always help him out.
Yeah.
Cloudy is just a bit further back in the division. I mean, then again, he had a very good result at Italy. I don't know. Will he? See, Kieran and Ryan, I dare say, will work together. You've got. I mean, Raj came back. I don't know if he's going to be racing that much. I don't really feel so.
I mean, like you got people like Don as well, who are only going to help Ryan, because Don's got really quick himself lately, and he's going to be taking points off Jasper also.
See, and it could. Then in some ways, it could. Well, it needs Don to beat Ryan, and I think Ryan probably has a slight pace advantage.
Yeah.
I mean, me and Ryan were practicing, and we were trading qualifying times, and I was just like, oh, great, this is not good. But then the funny thing is, I then go into that lobby and end up finishing 6th or 7th. in D2.
Yeah, it's like it's so weird how interchangeable all divisions are, from D4 to D1. Especially if you're looking at D2. If you look at D2, all divisions are interchangeable with that division. It seems you can grab drivers from every division and throw them into D1, D2. Sorry, it's weird.
Yeah.
It is very weird. But yeah, I think Ryan's gonna win the championship. Unfortunately, I mean it's only a 2-horse race. I don't think Don's out of it mathematically, but I think he's too far back. But yeah, let's have a quick look at the teams. I think Red Bull have won the constructors. They're 115 points ahead of Haas. Yeah, they have. So congrats.
They haven't won it yet.
No, they haven't. There's 3 races left. Oh no, they haven't. Sorry, no.
But they would need to. Well, they would need an absolute. Well, basically Jasper to win and Cloudy to get his second best performance of the season, whilst they both DNF'd.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean,
the battle for second is quite hot in the constructors. There's 11 points between second, third, and fourth. So that'd be interesting to watch. Come the end of the season, that's another thing. That's another subplot.
Has this ever happened? Has any constructor this season got maximum points, or 43 points? Because I think this might be the only team to do a 1-2.
Yeah, they could be. I don't think any other team's done it.
Yeah, that's a hell of an achievement, to be fair.
Yeah, it is. It's quite. Yeah, shows how competitive the grids are as well.
Yeah, and then, so I don't know. Driver of the season for me would probably be, for being completely honest with you, this is the first time I'm going to deviate from whoever's in first. I would actually say Jasper.
I can see why you go Jasper as well.
Because he's made the most of his pace.
Yeah,
I genuinely think that.
Yeah, if you're going on driver of the season, you're looking from start to finish. And Ryan somewhere halfway through the season he started getting good, but like Jasper from start to finish he's been level. I can see why you went with that. Yeah.
My surprise would probably be. My surprise would definitely be Ghost Recon, actually.
Yeah.
Ghost, cracking, excitable gentleman, and he didn't do pretty much anything for most of the last season, really, points-wise, and he'd be the first to admit that. I think he was disappointed.
Yeah.
So to see him battling for, he's not got a podium yet, but he's had a couple of close calls. That's solid for him. And then linked to him, one place above him, the absolute standout disappointment would be Smitsky.
Yes. Smitsky. I remember in the podcast before the season began, I said he was going to win D4. Smitsky made me look like a fool. Sorry, do you want to go on?
I'm just thinking I'm not doing very well. I've called June one of the longest serving drivers a disappointment in D1.
Well, you're not wrong.
I've called J. Cole an organiser a disappointment. I've called Ivor a commentator a disappointment, and now I've just got another org. So there you go.
Well, my driver of the season I'm going to go with Ryan. Surprise this season, I'm going to go with Don, considering where he started the season till now. Been very impressed. And Smitsky is my disappointment this season for reasons you said. I thought he'd do a lot better than he actually. He's got two podiums all season, which for someone as Smitsky's pace, it's quite disappointing to be fair. But I think that rounds up our overview of the season so far. And